Hello everyone, welcome to Respublica Politics, and today we're going to be talking about the Respublica Senate because we just had two Senate races back to back. We had one on August 20th and one on August 23rd, and I thought it would just be a good idea to go over the Senate because with both Senate races up back to back, it is 100% possible that the Respublica Senate is completely different. All the senators are completely different from what we had just 4 days ago. So before we start off, there's a couple things. One, I'm going to be going in alphabetical order. So we're going to start off with Alabama, and we're going to end up in Wyoming. And up here is Independents, which are a white color, but since the lettering is white, you can't see it. I think they should do an update on that so that the lettering's black when the color is white so that you actually see the lettering. So we're going to go to Alabama. I don't know why I'm scrolling down the list when it's the one up top. We're going to check out Alabama's Senate race from August. August 10th. August 10th would be the seat 2 race. So the seat 1 race would be July 28th. So Alabama, obviously, Hiero Cox, very influencing member of the Democratic Party, ran unopposed in the primary and therefore ran unopposed when I don't know why I can't run unopposed 3 days late. That is weird. Okay, there we go. It just updated. He did not run unopposed in the primary. Apparently, Aaron Rommel also ran, but Hiero Cox obviously trounced Rommel 83. Well, more like 84 to 16, so trounced him by what? 34, like 60 points. So obviously, Hiero Cox pick up for the Democrats in seat 1. Not pick up, hold for the Democrats in seat 1. Then for Alabama in seat 2, oh my god, I think I messed up. That was the 18th and the 21st. 28th. So these 4 are the new elections, and these 4 are the old elections. Are they? I only know when the seat 2 races run, but the seat 1 races, I should definitely figure out when those run if I'm going to do this video. But I recorded this like 7 times, and this is the furthest I got. So if I did mess up, I'm not going to change it. And I have like 0 brain cells. I'm on Senate 1 elections, so obviously I'm looking for the Senate 2 elections when I'm on Senate 1 elections. So small brain moment. But highly doubt Hiero Cox lost his seat. Yes, he kept it, obviously. So no surprise here. He's been holding his seat for a long time. You don't need to continue tripping over myself talking about this Senate seat. And yeah, August 13th, John Todd of Alabama, because the Democrats obviously have a stronghold there, beat Big Billy Long. These names are weird sometimes. Beat Big Billy Long. And so he is the incumbent for Alabama's seat 2. And so by the time August 23rd, which is today actually, by the time August 23rd rolled around, he obviously kept his seat in Alabama. Next state we're going to move to is the state of Alaska, and their seat 1, whatever you want to call it. Their seat 1 race. Game invalidated. So August 10th, Leslie Knope ran unopposed and carried her seat, and so she had to run. So she's the incumbent on August 20th, and against NUP candidate John Johnson, she obviously trounced him in that race. Moving on to Alaska's seat 2. I'll try to look at the primaries from now on in case there's actually anything interesting there. But I probably won't look at the primaries. Alaska's seat. Excuse me, having issues. All right. That is weird. There was an election. Apparently nobody ran because the elections go August 10th, 20th, and 23rd, which is strange because they usually go differently. All right. So Democrats also carried this seat here, and I'm going to move on quickly before I continue stumbling over myself like a bumbling idiot. Which I'm not, I promise. I'm just nervous, obviously. Which is probably not a smart thing to admit, but I admitted it. So there we have it. Moving on to the next state with an A in its name, the state of Arizona. And if you can't hear my clicking, I did do a test before this. The clicking is annoying, but I don't have a solution to it for now, so please bear with me. So the incumbent in the game is not bearing with me. The come on now. Come on, comply. The incumbent, there wasn't one? That's strange. Well, we'll go to, actually, no, there wasn't one. So, there was no incumbent for Arizona's seat 1. But on August 20th, it was almost a dead heat race between the Workers' Party, National Women's Party, and the Democratic Party. Workers' Party carried it with 35% of the vote. The Women's Party had 33, but the Democrats only had 31. That is interesting. A contested race. Don't have many of those in America. It's politically a boring country unless you live in certain states, like Arizona, in game, in real life. But moving on to Senate seat 2 for Arizona. Did they have an incumbent? Yes, the incumbent for Arizona Senate seat 2 was Hamish McDonald of the Democratic Party, who ran unopposed, but 10 days later lost his seat to the Workers' Party nominee, Grandma. We all know Grandma, a very famous person, right? Grandma is probably a future president, you know. Excuse me for a second. Also, I'm glad that the National Women's Party isn't carrying any seats, not because I'm against them or anything, but because, obviously, I would have to make a new color, and I'm lazy. So, the Workers' Party, and this is probably because of party regional influence, carried both seats here. With elections so close together, it's probably going to be a lot of states like this where parties carry both seats, since the elections happen so close. Next state, state of Arkansas. Arkansas seat 1. The incumbent was, drum roll please, JJ Fugate. I had a bit of difficulty reading that name, but if it was wrong, I apologize. You can correct me. But JJ Fugate barely won that seat, 50.24% to Tommy Bagnall of the Democratic Party's 49.76%. So that was a closer race, but the Republicans were able to edge it out, and they were the incumbents. But 10 days later, let's see if the Democrats flipped it around. And they did. The incumbent, whose name I already forgot, JJ Fugate, did not run for re-election. But, or maybe he lost the primary. Let me check. Nope, he did not run for re-election. apparently, or the game is glitching. So if he did and lost his primary, that's what happened. But the Republican nominee was Sean W. Ewald, who did not beat Tommy Bagnall, who finally got that Senate seat in Arkansas. I did not mean to unlock the map. More loud clicking. There we go. I'll probably try to hit it softer so there's not a lot of loud clicking. For Arkansas's seat 2, the incumbent is Sean W. Ewald, who apparently ran for seat 1. Alright, that doesn't really make sense why you would hold a Senate seat, then run for the other Senate seat and face election. That's just weird. But August 23rd, obviously, he was in the other Senate seat, and for some reason went for seat 1, but didn't try to jump for seat 2. But Logan Martin got lucky free shot and ran unopposed for the Senate seat. And that is another double carry for the Democrats. Moving on. Also, when I change between Respublica and YAFMS, my screen recorder doesn't record the change. So you're stuck staring at this map while I'm messing up, trying to figure out how to work these scrollers. Over here, California. Apparently, a lot of their elections were contested because we have elections from October 2019. But that's not the one we're interested in. We're interested in the one on August 10th. Tell me who the incumbent was. A four-way race. Aya Silva is the incumbent. He did not get a majority. He got 49.52%. But nevertheless, a plurality because we suck at election systems here in America. Well, we don't suck at election systems, more like balloting systems. Such as first past the post is a terrible balloting system. But Aya Silva was the incumbent. Let's see if he was able to carry. He did not run for re-election. Matter of fact, no Republican ran. Is Lawrence Schomburg of the Democratic Party, Waqas Malik of the Workers' Party, and Douglas I'm not even going to try to read that, but it looks like Gone Cows. Yep, Gone Cows. We'll say that. It was a three-way race between them. But I'm pretty sure last time I checked, the Republicans still had California. So it's kind of weird that a Republican didn't run, but this allowed the Democrats to carry this seat against the not against the Republican incumbent, but take that seat from the Republicans. I believe that was seat 1. No, take that seat from the Republicans in almost a supermajority landslide, 64% of the vote. Then we have softer clicking as we move on to Senate seat 2 in California. Now there are 50 states, 100 Senate seats, so I won't go over Senate seats that are like unopposed. Sit here talking 5 minutes about an unopposed Senate seat for no reason. California's seat 2, however, was carried. No, not carried. Did obviously have a Republican incumbent because California, last time I checked, was still held by the Republicans. He beat someone named Nancy Pelosi, which is interesting. But moving on, August 23rd, Thomas Beck lost very narrowly by what is this? 0.02 points, I believe. Or not. My math may be, yeah, no. Yeah, my math is tricking me. That is a 1.02 points. He lost it by 1.02 points to Vin Sheraton. Thomas Beck lost his Senate seat, which leads me to believe that the Democrats probably hold California now, since the Republicans don't have either of these Senate seats in a state that used to be one of their largest strongholds. Speaking of strongholds, I don't know if this is really a stronghold, but Colorado, seat 1, Colorado used to be with the centrist party, but I don't know if that's so much the case anymore. So going into the race, the incumbent was a centrist party candidate. So maybe they are the incumbent. If the numbers were low, nope. Centrist Party lost the selection for seat 1. They were not the incumbents going into August 20th. The Workers' Party, Winston Lewis Jr. happened to be the incumbent. Cool. Did he maintain his seat? Did maintain his seat and almost got no. He got 35% of the vote to the Green Party's Robert Graham, who got 33% of the vote, to Mario Rose-Faith from the National Women's Party, 31% of the vote. So another almost three-way split, but this one happened to go for the Workers' Party. I don't know why I'm clicking on another state. Should be clicking on another seat for looking for the incumbent for seat 2, who was another Workers' Party candidate. And I'm not going to even Workers' Party candidate, and I'm not going to trip over myself by attempting to read that name. August 23rd, the Women's Party elected. This is ironic. The Women's Party had an unopposed candidate who just so happens to be a man. So the Women's Party so far only senator is a guy. That is irony. Now I'm going to see if I can find a color for them. See, all colors. Light red. I think that'll work. National Women's Party. Should I just do? And NWP. That works. National Women's Party carried 1 Senate seat in the state of Colorado. Connecticut, seat 1. I have to remember, I have to have a sticky note. I should have a sticky note on my screen that says soft clicking, because I know it's loud. Matter of fact, I'm not going to click. I'm just going to tap on the touchpad. Not the touchpad, but you know what I mean. Which makes it annoying to scroll, but less annoying for you, who I am here to deliver information to, because obviously this isn't really entertaining unless you're enjoying me embarrass myself. Sorry. Connecticut. Nelson Rockefeller is the incumbent heading into August 20th, or was the incumbent. We'll see if he's still the incumbent. And he lost the seat. Oh, didn't lose the seat, but he didn't run for re-election. Zeus Hunter carried the seat. He is with the centrist party, as you are about to see. He carried the seat. There we go. Senate race. Softer clicking. Oh my god. It's just habit, obviously, to use the louder, more annoying clicking version. Candace Owens of the Republican Party was the incumbent on August 13th. She was unopposed. Let's see how that race went in Connecticut the second time around. Is it going to load, or did she run? Unless it tricks me and loads in while I'm not looking, Candace Owens ran for re-election. Candace Owens ran for re-election unopposed this time, obviously won unanimously. Because there are no write-ins, because that wouldn't make any sense. But hey, look, the first Republican senator. It's kind of strange that it took that long to get to one. Probably because I'm taking forever to get to these Senate races. Delaware. I'm going to try to move faster for the sake of not dragging this out to a documentary long video, and that is interesting. obviously there was some party switching involved in Delaware's seat 1 Senate seat. I cannot determine an incumbent because it's a 50-50 tie between a Republican and another Republican, which obviously, due to the primary system, can't happen. So somebody here switched parties, but we're not here to do an investigation, unless, of course, people will start begging for an investigation or somebody does an investigation of their own of what happened here. And it might be Senate rivalry. We might discover one of those going through here, which sometimes happen between two people in a state. But August 20th, Enrique Mata decided to run. I think we have some. I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to put any rumors out there, but Enrique Mata did not run with the Republican Party. He ran with the Workers' Party and won against Mark Connors, who ran with the Republican Party. You know what? Can't help myself. Gotta say it. One does not go from Republican to Socialist in just a span of 10 days. So that is a little suspicious. But that Delaware Senate seat did not change senators, but that senator did change parties. Let's see. Is this softer clicking? There we go. See that? Softer clicking and softer speaking. But for seat 2, we had an incumbent of Jacob Hernandez. I think he used to be the Democrats' treasurer. He ran unopposed and was the incumbent, running into August 23rd for Delaware seat 2. And that's something. He apparently, the Democratic Party's treasurer, this is some news, the Democrats' treasurer left and ran with the Workers' Party. So in Delaware, apparently they must have launched an operation in Delaware, the Workers' Party, because the Delaware senators did not change, but they both happen to change to the Workers' Party. That doesn't sound like a coincidence, and we all know it's definitely not. So see, going to Senate races, you find some gold, and you find some cringe. For sure, the only cringe you find is all the way throughout this video, me. Florida, this is a Reform Party state, so we'll see. They probably hold both Senate seats here. I believe it was said by their chairman that Florida is their base state, so this is an interesting race. It almost hurts to look at because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candidates from Reform, Democrats, and UP, the GOP, and an independent. But obviously, Ivanka Trump carried her seat and was the incumbent heading into August 20th. And we'll see if the same disaster happened or if... Nope, she ran unopposed, again, carried her seat. I believe she is the long-term Reform incumbent senator from Florida. I believe she did unseat Annabeth Chase, the Democratic chairman, when the Democrats used to hold the state until it flipped to Reform. And now Ivanka is the long-term senator from there. Annabeth Chase obviously moved. I think she moved to Virginia. All right. Florida Senate seat 2. And knowing the state of Florida, we'll see who holds this seat because Florida does not like to be reasonable. It likes to go all head crazy every so often. By every so often, I mean every 2 years because that's when we hold elections. Yep, Reform carried this one. Calvin Coolidge. Didn't he used to be a Republican? Yeah, I think he did. Well, he beat a Republican this time and he carried a Senate seat. And so he was the incumbent heading into August 23rd. It would be better if you could see my screen so that way I would have less to read. But heading into August 23rd, and also it's a better visualizer for some people. So I'll see if I can figure that out, get an actual screen recorder instead of the one I'm using now. But August 23rd, he again carried that seat, and that's another double carry for a party in the state of Florida. That's a double carry for Reform. Florida. We've made it through 1, 2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate? 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20 Senate seats. Well, we made it to 18 Senate seats. We can make it through 100. How about that? We'll see if we can make it through 100. The incumbent for Georgia seat 1 was Al Franken of the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party does hold a lock on the Deep South. Pretty sure it holds this whole belt right here from, not sure, pretty sure it used to go all the way from Louisiana up to Virginia, but I think now they only hold the deep South, the very Goldwater South, with South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana. Or it might even be even deeper in the South they only hold now. But Al Franken was the incumbent heading into August 20th. And he either got beat in his primary or nope. I don't know if it's showing the primary election because sometimes it shows the same results as the general election, but Al Franken does no longer holds his Senate seat as of now. Michael Harris now holds that Senate seat and winning nearly 92% of the vote in Georgia against an independent. Tough out there being an independent, it really is. Georgia seat 2. Alright. The incumbent heading into August 23rd was, drumroll please, John Lynn of the Republican Party, who happened to beat out a Democrat. That's interesting. It's probably, I'm pretty sure this is when the attack ad feature was implemented. Maybe. Not pretty sure, but it might have been. So elections did get a lot cheaper because of attack ads. It's regional influence doesn't dominate anymore in terms of factoring out an election. Now it's actually state influence because that can change. It doesn't just cap at 100, and then regional influence typically dictates the course of the election. But who's the incumbent again? John Lynn. See how his re-election went. He was able to win a second term in the Senate, a second consecutive term in the Senate here in Georgia. Even though that happens to be a Democratic state, I'm pretty sure state influence did do. State influence, yes. Excuse me. Pretty sure state influence did play a role in him being able to keep that seat in a state which is held by the Democrats. I'm pretty sure. I would have to go check. Really hate these awkward silent times when I'm going through changing these lists to get to right. Alright, Hawaii, Democrat Frank Egelhofer, former Speaker of the House, was the incumbent heading into August 20th. See what happened there. And he ran unopposed a second time in Hawaii, carrying his seat. Then we have seat 2. Right there. Tulsi Gabbard was the incumbent going into August 23rd, and she managed to crush Pepe Political of the CPUSA, winning nearly 93% of the vote. Hawaii is a double hold for the Democratic Party. I promise you, as I get through this, we will go a whole lot faster. At least it's not the House elections. The House elections took forever to do. And the reason that video isn't up, never went up, is because I accidentally deleted the good one instead of deleting the bad one. So I'll make sure I'll upload the good clip before accidentally deleting it to ensure that this video actually goes up. And if you're seeing this right now, obviously it went up. So Idaho, seat 1. The incumbent is Chancellor Ogg of the GOP, heading into August 20th. Did nobody run? Oh, that's wonderful. We don't have to talk about this. Nobody ran Idaho's second seat, so we can just move on as quickly as possible. And again, I just noticed myself back to the annoying clicking, and Idaho must have been completely abandoned by the GOP because neither of his senators ran for re-election. There wasn't even, it's not, or at least the election isn't logged. So we can just skip Idaho to Illinois. Illinois, Senate 1, August 13th. There is an error. Illinois, Senate 1, August. Oh, that's why it was an error. It didn't load properly. August 10th. The incumbent is Pepe. Not Pepe. It took a while to load the name, so I thought it was the same guy, but it wasn't. But Adam Helsby of the GOP carried this by nearly about 2.2 points, making it do quick math. And you don't know if I'm wrong unless you actually go check to see if I'm wrong, but I'm banking on you probably won't go check. Just saying that I know somebody will, because I probably would if I was in the mood to. But Adam Helsby, going up for re-election, did win. He won an absolute majority. So the GOP holds that seat in Illinois. Seat 1. Senate seat 2. The incumbent, Illinois Senate seat 2, was also with the Republicans Ronald R. Tibbs. And let's see how his re-election chances went. Almost unanimous, 98.2% to 1.8%. Ronald R. Tibbs carries his seat. That's a double hold for the GOP in two crushing Senate races, almost 97 points in one race, 30 points in another. That would be enough to classify these seats. It's pretty much safe for the GOP, but 10 days in this game, next thing you know, these seats go from safe for the GOP, now they belong to the National Women's Party, or something crazy like that. Indiana, seat 1. Seat 1. August 10th. Michael Williams, obviously unopposed. Not obviously, but I can see that. Obviously, he was unopposed. You know what? New drinking game. Every time I say obviously. Obviously, there goes again. That wasn't even a joke. That was on purpose. Wait, that was not on purpose. Michael Williams is the incumbent. Let's see how this re-election went. He wins 50.31 to 49.69. Nice. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just trying to expand my viewer base here. But he wins, obviously. There I go again. Well, obviously, he wins re-election. So, Indiana, seat 1, that is a hold for reform. I used the right word at that time. Hold. Remember 20 minutes ago when we were in Alabama and I messed up and didn't use hold? I did use hold. It was wrong. Or was it another state? I can't remember. It was one of the A states. But we are a long way away from that. We are in I now. So far. Alright, the incumbent heading into August 23rd for Indiana seat 2 is James Polk of the Reform Party, which I think this might, and he ran unopposed going the second time. Indiana is a double hold for reform with these two almost back-to-back Senate elections. Moving on to a different state now. And Iowa. Might have to split this into two, you think? Nah. I'll make you watch the whole thing. Obviously, there's obviously a game, but I can't make you watch the whole thing. But here we are. The responsible. I don't have to make a new cover. Maybe I don't. Sorry, Tom Hanks, but can you please lose your re-election to another party that I already have a color for? Let's see if he did. He lost to... Oh, he switched to the National Women's Party and trounced Jacob Turner of the Workers' Party. So he didn't lose. He got the best of both worlds. Best of both worlds. He kept his seat, and I don't have to make a new color. Yay, laziness. Yay, party switching. Iowa to Kansas. The incumbent for Kansas Senate Seat 1 was Andrew Yang of the Reform Party heading into August 20th. Did I do Iowa's second seat? No, I didn't. Well, John H. Watson won against Animal Rights Party candidate Fukta Fet. Alright, I see what you did there. Basically, F the feds. We're trying to not get demonetized. Alright. So, Kansas Senate seat 1. We're going to go ahead and classify. And we're going to go back to Iowa. Because that's the governor's race. Go back to Iowa because I didn't do their seat 2. Which the incumbent going into August 23rd was Joseph Kennedy III of the of the Reform Party, who didn't lose his seat. We'll see if he lost his primary, maybe. Nope. I don't think it shows primaries actually. So August 23rd, National Women's Party candidate John Biden carries Iowa's second Senate seat. This is a flip from Reform to National Women's Party. I'm pretty sure that happened. Pretty much can deduct what happened here. Reform held Iowa, the NWP took Iowa, then that guy whose name I forgot probably switched to the NWP so that he could keep his seat, as they're obviously trying to take Iowa. Back to Kansas. We're going to go to their seat 2. I was already on that. Seat 2. Who is the incumbent? The incumbent was Gerald Gord of the Reform Party heading into August 23rd. And we have who happened to switch. Oh, never mind. Didn't switch party. Took forever for the names to load. This is a flip. I'm pretty sure it was. It happened 3 seconds ago by short term. Yep, this is a flip from Reform to Workers' Party and a pickup of a Senate seat for Comrade Vonnegut. Whatever. You got a Senate seat, but you can't have your name pronounced at the same time. Beggars cannot be choosers. Well, obviously, not to call you a beggar, but that's assuming he's even watching this, which is a bold assumption. Kentucky. The incumbent for Kentucky seat 1 was James McAllister, who almost won unanimously here. He got 95.5% of the vote, obviously against an independent, because you know what? There's another obviously against an independent, which typically you don't see party crushes of 95+% against other parties. That just typically doesn't happen. So obviously James McAllister had a big mandate heading into August 20th for his re-election and won. There's another obviously about to come out. James McAllister won re-election unopposed, and that is for the Workers' Party in Kentucky. That is a Workers' Party state. Kentucky, West Virginia, Tennessee. Excuse me. But I believe this whole belt right here is kind of stripe against the country. From Arizona, stripe across the country from Arizona to West Virginia has kind of been getting picked up by the Workers' Party. Alright. Kentucky seat 2. It wouldn't be. I should go ahead and do I have the Workers' Party selected? Because it's probably their seat. Well, it's actually the senator's seat. But we know how parties work. Actually, Otto von Bismarck of the GOP ran unopposed and was the incumbent heading into August 23rd. Let's see if the Workers' Party decide to fix that little problem. Well, Otto von Bismarck did not seek re-election, and the Workers' Party nominee Peter Pepito ran unopposed in Kentucky, making that a double hold. Well, a hold and a flip, so a double. They hold both Kentucky Senate seats. That's a simple way of saying that without the fancy double this, double that. But that's really weird in Kentucky, though, to have so many uncontested Senate races. Louisiana, which we'll see if that is still a Democratic state, because things change every 3 seconds in this game. Oh, okay. Bonnie Clay, the Republican Party, he served as, I believe, Attorney General when Pearl was president. So he was the incumbent senator heading into August 20th, and he ran for the second time unopposed, carrying that seat for the GOP. Bonnie Clay, famous for his, what many would call, sometimes ridiculous legislation in the Senate. But hey, if you like a laugh, he gives you a laugh. And apparently Louisiana is a Republican state because we have Chris Roberts, a GOP nominee, running unopposed and is the incumbent heading into August 23rd. And wins by what? Almost 16 points. Actually, no. That's not the same person. This is BML Party wins by almost 16 points against Jordan Johnson, the Libertarian nominee. And in oh so many words, the Republicans buried both of Louisiana's Senate races. And we can move on to the state of Maine. Let's scroll down. Is anyone keeping track of how many states we've done? So I can know how close I am, how long I'm taking to do what's really a very simple task. Edmund Muskie was the unopposed incumbent on August 10th. Let's see how that ran round. And he must not have sought re-election because Jocelyn Bennett of the Responsible Conservatives ran unopposed and won. And now I have to create a color for the Responsible Conservatives. Let me just test this out real quick. Nope. I got an idea. I don't even know if they hold Senate seats, so we'll do this. Responsible Conservatives. Likely. They were the likely color of something, I can't remember. But Responsible Conservatives will do this black for them, which is usually used for Evan McMullen, but we'll do this black for them, and that's their Senate seat. Well, it's Senator Senate seat, but we all know how parties go. There's chips, and there's salsa, and there's music, and there's dancing. No, political parties. August 13th. Responsible Conservatives are the incumbents heading into, oh, look at that. Jocelyn Bennett lost this election. She actually lost that election for seat 2 as a Republican Party, but now she holds. And 7 days later, she switched to Responsible Conservatives, ran unopposed, and carried seat 1 and got that seat. So, party switching involved. Gibby O.C. Gibson, he carried his seat a second time for the Responsible Conservatives up in Maine, and that's another double hold for a party. And I don't know why I'm going to click toss-ups, that's just a waste of time. Maine to Maryland, which is a Democratic state, so I'll be shocked if any other party holds any Senate seats here. Yeah, that's interesting. Joseph Peterson was able to beat Cam Walls of the WP by 0.32 points going into making him the incumbent. August 20th, we'll see if Ken Walz came back and was able to beat him. Ken Walz did come back, ran unopposed, and got that Senate seat for the Workers' Party, expanding that Workers' Party stripe across the country from Arizona to West Virginia to now Arizona to Delaware. I forgot all about poor little old Delaware, which may or may not have a president soon. Knock on some wood. Senate 2. The incumbent for Maryland Seat 2 was a member of the Workers' Party who probably got a good re-election chance. Nope. The Workers' Party incumbent did not run for re-election, and Tipsy Colonel was able to get that seat unopposed. An unopposed Senate seat is really a prize. I'll tell you that. Maryland to now Massachusetts. So why do all the states in the north, except Mississippi, of course, why do all these northern states like him in the name? Massachusetts, Maryland, Michigan, Minnesota, then there's Montana. Awkward silence as I pull up Massachusetts Senate seat. Seat 1, so I can know who the incumbent was heading into August 20th, and Larry David, obviously. There's another obviously. Oh my god. If I knew how, I'd probably put an obviously counter, but I'm not going to go through, count all the obviously's, then figure out how to put an obviously counter, then accidentally delete the video, and then be mad all day. So, Larry David did not run for re-election, and Andrew Lacombe came in as a Democratic nominee. I know he probably did not beat Larry David, a former president, in the Democratic primary, but it doesn't like to show me the primary results. So all I know is that all I know is that he is the senator from Massachusetts. And look, this video is 47 minutes long, and we haven't even got through half the states yet. I'm taking forever and moving really, really, really slow. So I'll figure out how to speed this up, but we have to start slow somewhere. I'm sure the videos will get shorter and shorter as I learn to move faster and faster doing this. Mr. Omar, the Republican Party, was the Michigan incumbent heading into August 20th. And he carried his seat. No, he lost his seat by, no, not 0.6. Yeah, 0.06 points. A tilt Martian. He lost his seat to the fastest man alive. He barely lost the race to the fastest man alive, Democrat, barely. Democrat Barry Allen. Senate 2. The incumbent was, drum roll please, Julia Matsu. Obviously. Ran against an independent and got a near unanimous victory. And again, she ran unopposed. This is a double hold from the Democrats and a strong hold from the Democrats. That's not too repetitive. And a strong hold for the Democrats in Michigan. Minnesota. We have August 10th, the incumbent was in another million-man race. Prince of the Workers' Party is the incumbent heading into August 20th. And he did not run for re-election. Nobody from the Workers' Party ran for re-election. John Stevens of the Reform Party is now the great holder of the seat 1 Senate seat from Minnesota. If I read that right. Nope, not John Stevens. It's James H. Hunt of the Libertarian Party. There we go. There was a mistake I made. The Libertarians managed to hold a Senate seat, which is It's kind of strange how they don't have such a big party name get involved like the big parties, but they managed to stay alive, which I guess lay low, don't get shot is probably their party strategy. Ben Carson is the incumbent for that is Mississippi. We are still in Minnesota. Ben Carson's not the opponent. Incumbent, forget that. The incumbent for Minnesota seat 2 is Alexander Chun, who barely wins against John Stevens of the Reform Party in August 23rd. Alexander Chun by 9 points is able to win against Roger Penske of the Republican Party. And he still holds that Senate seat. I thought Alexander Chun was from, no, he's from Minnesota. I think it's someone else. That's from Wisconsin. From Minnesota down all the south to Mississippi. Seat 1. And the incumbent was, like I said, Ben Carson of the GOP, and he didn't run for re-election. The Democrats, Ismail David, unopposed, carried that seat in the Democratic Deep South, which, when the South is Democratic, is usually not a very fun time in American history. G. Money Washington is the incumbent for seat 2 heading into August 23rd, and I'm not trying to get to monetize face. The Southern People's Party runs unopposed and carries that seat. And guess what? I have to make a color. So what color represents the Southern People's Party? I can't have care. I think we'll use the dark blue because why not? SBB because we don't have a lot of time. The video is nearly an hour long and that's unnecessary. So they get the darker blue. Now, clicking on the wrong buttons. Missouri. Seat 1. I might split this into 2 parts, or you can just watch it in 2 parts. Your choice. Missouri. Why was I going to say obviously? Cameron Clark is the independent for seat 1 in Missouri of the GOP, heading into August 20th. If you could translate what I just said into English, you deserve a Rhodes Scholar. Cameron, he then is able to keep his seat for re-election as a whole for the GOP. Let me go to the next seat. More hard clicking. Josh Hawley is able to trounce Democrat Felix Lingo. You know what? Just for having that name, I'm going to skip you. Josh Hawley is the incumbent. More hard clicking for no reason. And he runs unopposed, carrying that Senate seat. That is a double hold for the GOP. They are just 8 seats behind the Democrats, which there are 53 seats to go because I talk too much when I should be talking and moving at the same time. So I can get to states like Montana. If you don't care who the incumbent is, just let me know and I'll tell you about the Senate race. I'll cut like half the video. And that saves us all a lot of time. Austin St. John. Oh, please don't tell me I have to make. This guy's from Mountain of Fire Miracles. What is that even? No, he's the incumbent. Please tell me I don't have to make a new color. I don't. Christian Walker of the Democratic Party is able to come in and save me from actually putting some work into this and carries that Senate seat. Thank you. Alright. NUP, obviously, Azarius Severius, former president. We don't talk about what happened there. We're not here to talk about that. Honestly, I'm pretty sure he's still leader of the NUP. He said he was going to pull back from his political career, but he's obviously he's the incumbent, long-term incumbent from Montana, and unopposed carries his seat again for the NUP. I gotta find a much faster way to move this. I keep saying that. Gotta go faster. Gotta go fast. I'm pretty sure it's a song from somewhere. I don't know where. The incumbent from the... And I clicked on the wrong one. Incumbent from Nebraska is Hidalgo Gonzalez, and apparently he did not run for re-election as a worker party. No, he switched parties. And he switched parties in Nebraska, and as a switch of not senator, but of party for a seat. Again, seat 2. We'll see how this story is more quickly. Macklin Lauren, unopposed. He is the incumbent. I'll just say the incumbent is. You don't need to know he was unopposed. He's unopposed twice to be the incumbent senator from Nebraska, holding that seat for the Democrats. Nevada, however you put it, the state beginning in A, no, beginning in N, ending in A, that is not Nebraska, that state Senate seat. I do not want to make another color for the freaking Pirates Party. What? You know what? There aren't enough colors. There aren't enough colors for all these parties. There are not enough colors for all you people. We're gonna give them. We're out of colors. We're out of colors. I don't know what to tell you. United States Pirate Party tilt color. So we can distinguish them from the other blues of the Democrats, the Reformed, the SPP, and themselves. There we go. Senate 2. Remco de Jong of the Democratic Party is the unopposed incumbent, and something tells me he ran for re-election unopposed. He did. Nothing to talk about there. See, if I had any editing skills and wasn't lazy, I would just cut out these unopposed races. But I think we'll be getting this information. I don't know. YouTube isn't very forgiving, so Lord Farquaad. Well, they don't censor that out. So Farquaad Fodemede is the incumbent heading into August 24, New Hampshire's first Senate seat, and he doesn't run for re-election. Herbert Slugsworth is the unopposed incumbent there. New Hampshire seat 2. August 13th, Peter Cunnin is the incumbent, runs for re-election unopposed in New Hampshire. Moving on to the state of New Jersey. To the state of New Jersey, like I said. Alright, the incumbent is Joseph McCarthy, and he carries his seat against the Democrats. That is a hold for reform. And I can't remember what state I just clicked on. New Jersey, there you go. New Jersey. Alright. Did I not click? I moved on to a whole nother state. I'm moving too fast. I make mistakes. Move too slow. Video takes forever. New Jersey's seat 2. Jack Martin of the Reform Party is able to trounce. I believe that was a Democrat. No, able to trounce an independent who did well. 15% for an independent running around first time. That's a double hold in New Jersey. For reform, talking over myself. That's a new talent that we could put nowhere because nobody cares. The incumbent in New Mexico is Connor Casher of the Workers' Party. Going into re-election, he is able to again barely carry his seat for the WP. Looks like they're trying to build up in this whole southwestern cut right here. Or, well, the four corners. This is the four corners. This is the southwestern cut. South. Actually, everything with Utah is the southwestern cut. And I'll tell you why. Actually, I won't, because you don't. I call it the southwestern cut while I'm moving to New York because it's getting bluer. So I use that phrase to refer to it whenever I need to. Senate 2. The incumbent for New Mexico Senate 2 was Chester Arlington. Okay, I thought it was a clown for half a second in that profile picture. It's just the lion who loses his seat to the NWP. NWP's nominee, Frankie. Haha, you lost some girl. That's the SPP. Where is it? There it is. So, no. At least the Women's Party's only senator is not a man. That would be embarrassing. Their sole party representative is a man. Vito Corleone is the incumbent in New York seat 2, seat 1, actually. I have common sense. I can read. Use your common sense. That's hilarious. And AOC at the Workers' Party trounces a independent. Woohoo! You crush somebody with no party backing. Here in New York. And who held seat? No, that was seat 1, actually. Seat 1. I'm pretty sure the Workers' Party actually took New York. They held the House seats there, and now they hold the Senate seat. And they might hold party power. I have not checked party power a long time. Usually shifts over and after and during a presidential election, which is going on. David J. wins New York's seat 2 election on August 23rd, and he carries that for the Democrats. One of the last remaining, probably, I won't say last remaining, but something. Senate seat 1, yeah, August 13th. If it will load, Senate seat 1 for North Carolina, and I don't know why it loads the wrong date list sometimes. But, oh, that's a close race. 0.009 points. Pretty sure it was a 0.006 race. But 0.006, 0.009, those are both extremely close races. Todd Garland of the Reform Party is the incumbent heading into August 20th. We have a rematch between James Taylor and Todd Garland. James Taylor is a carry for the Democrats there. Actually, James Taylor. He sounds familiar. I'm like 0.5% sure James Taylor's an independent. But it says Democrats, so we're going to go with Democrats. North Dakota. Actually, we need to go North Carolina seat 2. The incumbent for North Carolina seat 2 is August. The incumbent is a date. It's August 13th. No, the incumbent was Daniel Webster of the Reform Party, who won 74 to 26% against John F. Kennedy of the GOP. That is a hold for reform. So a loss and a hold for reform in North Carolina. North Dakota. North Dakota, the incumbent is Doug Burgum, heading into re-election, and my hand is getting tired from all this clicking. But hey, he goes unopposed. That's a hold for the GOP. I wonder what the average time between me doing all this clicking to figure out who won the race and actually filling the Senate seat is. I swear, if I look at this, Matt Gaetz is the incumbent for seat 2. I swear, if I look at this and the audio is whack, I'm still uploading it because I took forever. 92 to 8% victory for Matt Gaetz running for re-election, trouncing a Democrat in North Dakota. Which, in game, real life, what more could you expect? Ohio. Pretty sure it's an interesting state. Changed hands quite a bit. The incumbent there in Ohio is another three-way race. David Dobson of the Reform Party is the incumbent, and he does not run for re-election. Already lost his primary, but Dominic Engelfelt is now the Workers' Party senator from Ohio. Workers' Party gaining a lot of ground, I'm noticing. Started a while back. They've been gaining a lot of ground for a long time now. But in Ohio seat 2, the Reform holds it, and we'll see if it's the same story of the Workers' Party taking it. Nope, it's the Democrats taking it, with Anami Paul taking that seat. It's going to be very interesting going over the House races with there being individual districts, which is probably why I won't go over them unless there's one that's like overwhelmingly interesting. Ocean Patrick's, Oklahoma, seat 1. The incumbent is Randall of the NUP, and he runs unopposed for re-election, carrying his seat. If I can find the NUP, there are so many parties up here. Like, Oklahoma, seat 1, goes for the NUP, just like Montana, seat 2. Seat 2, the incumbent is Emperor Rump in Oklahoma seat 2, and he loses re-election to Joshua Blewett of the Anti-Fascist Action Party, who, actually we changed the name. There we go. I just got rid of this like 50 states ago. Alright, custom colors, that's the wrong color. Black, AFAP, Anti-Fascist Action Party. Obviously, solid color. Use black because that's pretty much their party color. I heard Oregon had an interesting Senate race. I read the Oregon Insider article on it. Should probably go check it out. I think FDR was almost unseated here. Or it was a lot taken to unseat him. Yeah, obviously, Gerald Ford is the incumbent heading into August 20th. I think it might have been a rematch. It was a rematch, and Franklin FDR, in a rematch against Gerald Ford, knocks him out, takes the Senate seat in Oregon. And we can't even see the state of Washington. I was about to say that would complete a Democratic West Coast if they have all 6 of the West Coast seats. We haven't gotten that far yet. Alright. Mr. Pauls is the incumbent heading into August 23rd. Docker K. Polk runs unopposed and carries Oregon seat 2, so that's 4 out of the 6 West Coast seats for the Democrats. Stay with me here. We have less than 100 states to go through, at least. I can guarantee you that. Each with 2 Senate seats. So, the incumbent in Pennsylvania, seat 1, was Cassandra Sapphire, heading into August 20th. Thomas Colton runs unopposed and gets that's a Reform Party seat in Pennsylvania. Seat 2, August 13th. The incumbent is Thomas Colton. August 23rd. Another Reform Party member, Lionel Hutz, is able to take that seat. That's a double hold in Pennsylvania for the Reform Party. We're getting there, guys. Getting there to the 50th state. It kind of gives you, if this is tiring us out, imagine campaigning at all 50 states, which is what Richard Nixon did, and he still ended up losing. Rhode Island, this is seat 1, right? Yep. Rhode Island, the incumbent is Amelia Holmes. going into August 20th, she runs unopposed. Rhode Island, that is a seat for the GOP. Seat 2, let's check out that story. Is it a different one? Probably. Very different one. AOC. No, that's a different AOC. There's 2 AOCs in the game. But the incumbent is Theodore Roosevelt, another Republican. And Theodore Roosevelt of the Reform Party this time almost loses to an independent, but keeps his seat nonetheless. Again, almost ain't it. Almost ain't it. It's almost. Now to the South, South Carolina, South Carolina and South Dakota. The incumbent in South Carolina is Tricia Triska. There we go. It's gonna go there. And she doesn't run for re-election. Kardashian West of the Democratic Party holds that seat and getting 62% of the vote, part of the Democratic South. Seat 2. The incumbent is Kardashian West, who obviously switched Senate seats, which is very, very strange to switch Senate seats. And Marley Storm of the WP holds that seat now. So, in a way, not going to say anything. I was going to say, in a way, the Democrats kind of lost one seat, but did they? Did they not? Ooh. Alright. South Dakota, the incumbent is Tucker Young and runs unopposed for re-election. That's a Republican, right? Yeah, runs unopposed for re-election in South Dakota. The Republicans are doing dismal in the Senate race. Yeesh. Not too well there, GOP. The elephant is looking a bit sick. Navneet Reddy is the incumbent in South Dakota seat 2 and switches to the Democratic Party, putting a pain in the GOP's side in the Dakotas right here. They would have had both Dakotas as a double hold, but they don't. They didn't even field a candidate, so kind of their own fault. Alright, Tennessee, a Workers' Party, part of the Workers' Party stronghold. I'm guessing this is a double hold for them. The incumbent is Horton Loudsworth, whose name sounds familiar enough to tell me he ran not unopposed, but trounced his opponent 91 to 9. That's a hold for the Workers' Party in Tennessee. From Tennessee to Texas. From Tennessee back to Tennessee, because Tennessee, like all the other states, has 2 Senate seats, which has Eugene Okolon as an incumbent who won his re-election didn't almost lose, 13 points approximately against the CPUSA, which I'm glad I don't have to make a color for, because we're running out of colors, honestly. Texas. We are so close. Guys, if you've been watching this whole time, thank you so much for bearing with me, because I'm struggling just as much as you are, and this is why first past the post sucks. The winner is Byakuya Tagami III, who got 27.96% of the vote and somehow is responsible for representing 100% of the state. So, very incumbent against a very contested election going up against August 20th. Not as many candidates, but the Democrats were able to flip that. Oh, I remember this race. Yeah. Magnus Carlberg, U.S., is able to flip that race for the Democrats in Texas. Ooh, big blue Texas. That dream the Democrats have of a big blue Texas in game and in real life gets closer and closer every day. The incumbent, I didn't go check who the incumbent was. The incumbent for Texas seat 2 was Barack Obama, a Democrat. And Democrats may have been able to carry both. Nope. They lost to Sarah Palin of Reform by about 2 points. These Texas Senate races, I gotta check these out because these are like five-man Senate races, and it's like each candidate has like 20-25% approximately apiece. I gotta look at these races because they are highly contested. Look, you found something interesting. Texas and North Carolina, they have some of the most interesting Senate races I've seen. Who won? Sarah Palin, Reform Party. It's blue, but it's not the blue the donkey wants. Texas. Now over to the state of Utah. The incumbent for seat 1 heading into the recent election was Elise Stefanik, who, if this drop-down list would comply with me, it would tell me that she ran unopposed for re-election, obviously. That obviously is valid. Obviously, she won if she ran unopposed. Seat 2, the incumbent is Richard Greenwood, a Democrat, who, again, ran unopposed. 2 unopposed Senate races in Oregon. In Utah, Oregon actually had an interesting Senate race. And as in Oregon and North Carolina are examples of why I check the second most previous race, because maybe there was a rematch. Also checking incumbent. Vermont Centrist Party is the incumbent, Dakota Elslayer, state of Vermont. An independent runs, unopposed, and wins. It's not Bernie Sanders, his name is Nicholas, and we can add some white to this map. Who would have thunk? I'm proud to add. Every time an independent wins, I'm just proud to say it because I know it was a hard-fought race, even though this was a hard-fought race against nobody. So, kind of got lucky, but he holds that Senate seat for 10 days, so he can do a lot with it. Mr. Cheeks is the incumbent in Vermont seat 2, and again, wins unopposed because it is Vermont. Even their senators sound boring. Virginia heading back to the south. Relay string from the south. That was so good, it's going to be copyrighted. No, I'm just kidding. The incumbent is Senior Demonetized in Germany, so tells you who it was. And heading into August 20th election, he wins 90 to 10% against the CPUSA. That is a hold for the Republicans in Virginia in seat 1. There are some states that when there's certain colors, it's just aesthetically pleasing, like a red Virginia. Senate seat 2. And nobody ran for Virginia seat 2, so we won't even look at it. Or the election wasn't recorded, which either way. And now for the cover-up state, who had nobody run in their seat 2 race, but their seat 1 race, we'll check it. Seat 1 race did have some competition. George Scott Adams is the incumbent heading into another round. He didn't run for re-election. And here we go. Vitautas Landsbergis, probably someone who moved in from Germany with that type of name, is a libertarian who ran unopposed for this seat. And we're going to have to literally unlock the map and move because of how many parties there are. We could not see Oregon. And center the map. And oh, I gotta look, I'm LTE. No, I'm just kidding. West Virginia, that's the next state. West Virginia, Senate 1. This is a Workers' Party area. They are the incumbent heading into the recent seat 1 race, and of course, they carry it Okay, that's a lot of brown in these two areas. Again, Workers' Party is gaining a lot of strength. I saw it start in Arizona, and then it went over here, and now it's going up north. There's winning strength. Well, winning strength, gaining strength, same difference. In this context, the Republican is the incumbent heading into August 23rd, Marge Simpson, and she doesn't run for re-election. The Workers' Party again, has a double lock on the state of West Virginia. The state of Wisconsin, which I believe is part of the Democratic Rust Belt. Nope, they have a Workers' Party incumbent heading into August 20th who beat John Little, a Democrat, who didn't run for re-election, and the Workers' Party is able to hold that seat in Wisconsin. That's a hard one for the Democrats. Nobody ran. Nobody ran. Nobody was the incumbent for August 20th. So August 20th, John Little ran for another Senate seat and unopposed is still the senator from Wisconsin, just sitting in another seat. Imagine if the Senate sat by states and you just see the guy that beat you in the last election a couple of days ago and you're sitting right beside him. I bet the other guy would be mad, just like, I beat you 3 days ago. Here you are, sitting right beside me, where I don't want you to be. Well, at least you both get a Senate seat, so I don't know why anyone would complain. The incumbent in Wyoming is Dick Cheney, heading into August 20th. How they found 2 people in Wyoming, I have no clue, and the other one disappeared. Dick Cheney, unopposed, carries that seat. And seat 2, the last Senate seat we made it. So far, the incumbent is Samantha North. I believe that Wyoming is with the centrist party, and the centrist party doesn't hold either of the seats, but I think they hold the party power. They might not anymore. 88 to 12. James Dillon of the Reform Party. Let me just close this right here. James Dillon of the Reform Party is the winner of that race. We really have 5 Senate seats That is weird. Where those 5 Senate seats come from? We have 2 here, 3, 4, I think. Where's the 5th one? That is weird. Well, 95 seats in the Senate, obviously. The Democrats carry the Senate like every other Senate, but like every other Senate, they carry it by a plurality. The Workers' Party is second place, just 7 seats behind with 23 seats. And if you do your math, you know the Democrats at 30. And you can see the screen, so why am I even telling you? The Republican Party gets 3rd place with 15. Just 3 seats behind is Reform. You have 1 independent, 2 libertarians, 1 centrist. It's easier to read here. 2 libertarians, 1 centrist, Connor Haynes of the United States Party, the Southern People's Party, 4 Women's Party representatives, 1 Anti-Fascist Action Party. Maine is double locked by Responsible Conservatives. Both the Green Party and the Common Sense Party don't have any seats, so actually the Green Party merged with the Democrats, so we can surely delete that, and now you can see Washington. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know where the 5th one is, but anybody I miss. NUP has 2 seats. Reform has 12. And I'll mention it again. I know I mentioned it once, but I'll mention it again. There is an independent in the Senate. So thank you for bearing with this. If you are somebody who's being locked in a CIA holding room, I hope you enjoyed the torture. Because that's one of the main uses for this video, I presume, would be But thank you all for watching. This is Respublica Politics, and you basically just watch an election night. So if I did want to get copyrighted, I would just put that election music on it and kind of make it like an election night without all the fancy slideshows that everybody else does. But again, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And if you skip to the end, you miss out on like 3 things. So don't worry about it, but don't do it again. I mean, I can't stop you, but I prefer you not doing it again. So you listen to me talk for nearly an hour and a half straight because I can run my mouth like you've never seen, which means I would be great at doing Senate filibusters when I get older. So, which is a good skill. So, thank you again for watching. And I don't have an exit screen, so I'll just leave this map up until it reaches 126, and I'll stop it and do that jingle theme for the question there. Do 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 do.